Okay. Okay, hello. This is part two of the webinar two that we conducted on Saturday. We initially started few things, but we did not complete them. So to complete those, I created this particular webinar. So there is no specific agenda, but let's try to complete the use case. That's all. That's all I want to do it now. Okay, share the screen. Okay, let's see with the existing code that I have. So with the code that I already have, it is something like this. Okay, we are checking with the URL, and the URL is automation challenge. And in the challenge, we are trying to extract data from invoices. I already have built all the code. The thing that I made wrong earlier was I'm checking for sit amit, but on the if condition, I'm going to anion. So that I have corrected now. So if the bool, if amit is coming, then we need to extract the details from amit. And if we have anion, if it is not amit, then it should be anion, and we should have the values. So let's go ahead and try to do. So what other things that I have changed? In the webinar, we have discussed that for each try activity or for each get OCR activity, if something fails, then what should we do? So for that, okay. So for that, what I have done is I kept try catch for each and every item or each and every Microsoft OCR extracting text from the image. In the same way, I have done the same thing for NN as well. But if there is any exception, it will just give us that this is an empty value. So in the process, what exactly I'm checking is if we get all the values, and if any one of the value is empty, I'm assigning the values to generic value. And in this form designer, I'm actually showing a user that, okay, these are the details that I got only if the values are empty, and we need to correct them. Or else what we can do is we can ask the user every time, like, these are the details we extracted, do you need to correct, or can we do that? I think that also we can do. Okay, let's go ahead and check. If that can be done, then I think we need not have all these things or all these values. So irrespective of if the value is empty or if the value of is null, we can do, or we can get the values. So meanwhile, if you have any questions, I'll take the questions in my chat from my YouTube chat. So go ahead and ask. I think that will be a better option, since I did not share this meeting link to anyone. Okay, let's go ahead and see how far are we in getting or extracting the values. So the final report that we need to get is in this format. We need to have a due date and invoice number, invoice date, company name, and total due date. I already have a queue name, which is RPA challenge. And in this RPA challenge queue name, I am adding all the transactions. So that's the basic thing. And let's go with UiPath. Okay, here I'm trying to add or append the values into the CSV. So let's go ahead and append the values into one particular CSV. This is Excel workbook or CSV, and all we need to do is append this data. We are dynamically building the data here. Transaction table or transaction report. And this is a DT, data table. Let's give it as DT. And what else can we do? Let's see with DT here. We need to append this transaction report. Once we append this transaction report, I think we need to get the values. And here is what actually matters. What we need to add: ID, due date, invoice number, invoice date, component. So since I'm building a data row here, I can add DT transaction report. And before this, I think I can go ahead and assign data, assign value. And if since we are creating a new data table, I think that should work for us. No need to assign any empty columns or empty rows. Let's go ahead and add the values. So the first value should be ID, and ID we can get it from our queue item. And let's see with the transactions, and let's see with the details. So here we have specific data ID, and in transaction item dot specific content. In the specific content, we can give ID dot toString. So what is the next one? ID due date, and we have the due date as well directly from the website. So this is the due date. So let's take this one and let's add the values in transaction item dot specific content of Control Z, add dot toString. Okay. So in this video, we are trying to complete the solution, as well as the project is already structured in ReFrameWork. Only thing that we are trying to do here is we are trying to complete and get the result. Along with that, if possible, let's add human input to it, so that if there is some data, we can validate and we can send the data. Maybe we can do that. Okay, so what else do we require? Invoice number, invoice date. Okay, we can have str invoice number. So str invoice number, and not sure why, but when we are creating this add data row, always we have this particular dot before some value. Okay, see, the dot is auto populated. Invoice number, invoice date, company name and total due. Let's add company name and total due as well. Str company name. Okay, str company name, and let's give a dot str total due. So these are the values that I normally require from the from extracting a particular transaction item or a report. Once we append everything, then I think that should be it. And delimiter can be, since we already have commas, if we can keep semicolon, I think that would be a best option, because when the data already has commas, and if we keep comma again, the delimiter may or may not be properly or accurately give us the correct answers. Okay, let's go and see with the use case, and let's close this. Okay, if we can copy this columns, I think we can get the correct values. Automation, and let's check with the framework. So this is the data that I'm using, data file, and here is the values. Here are the values, and so these are the values that I extracted in previous runs. Let's remove them so that we'll get the fresh data. Save and close. Save. Okay, I think I can close it without saving. That should also work. Let's run the workflow, and in this you can also see, since I kept highlight elements, you can see what are we extracting. Let's debug. Okay, we created a project in such a way that if there are transaction items already in the queue, we will not add new transaction items. But if there are no transaction items, then we will add them and we can extract the data from them. So since we don't have any new transaction items, it's extracting the data. Saved. I think the values are added to the queue. Now we need to go or navigate to every item, transaction item. It's extracting invoice number. Since we have 12, I think we can get all the values, but let's see. Okay, let's try for a different format as well. Once we have different format, let's stop and let's run the flow instead of debugging it, since we are able to see what are the values that we are getting already. Okay, so here is the problem. Okay, this is where I added the manual input that's required. See, we got total due date, company name we got, invoice date we got, but invoice number we have an exception. So I can manually enter. I need not worry about entering every data, but if there is any manual entry that's required, the program has the capability of retrieving or extracting the values and asking a user that, okay, I have an issue, please guide me. Okay, for the third one, it didn't give any issue, or it was able to extract all the values properly. Let's try for the third one. Okay, this is the new format now. Let's see if we can get all the values. All it need to do is it need to extract invoice ID. Okay, this is the date, invoice number, and the company name and the total value. That's it. So if all the details are extracted, then it will continue further. Let's see if for ANN format as well, if we can get or if we get any manual input. So how manual input will work is if any of the values that fetched are empty, then only we'll get the manual input from the bot. So this is an attended automation now, but initially we try to build it in unattended mode. But when we have an exception, if we are able to handle it right away, then at that point, then it can be a good option or good practice to do it. Let's see for a few more minutes. I think we got around 6 or 7 reports for now, till now. On total, it will be around 12 transactions. Okay, we have the values, and we will also see how to format this date, because when you're seeing in Anian, we are having a different date format, as well as in Citamet, we have a different date format. We'll also see how can we correctly add the dates and their formats. Okay, I think this should be the last one. Hope we have all the values completed. Now the bot should close on itself. If there are exceptions, then we may face errors. Okay, but what I'm seeing here is bot didn't close properly. So what I can do is I can first target automation challenge OCR. And okay, if we have one item, and why aren't we able to close the application properly? Let's check with the selector, repair the selector. Okay, this is the value that we are getting. So instead of this, what we can target is there can be any Internet Explorer, but if we can target the correct value, then it should be the proper way to configure a selector. So if we can just go ahead and keep a star over here, I think now it will work properly. Closing all the applications, debug. Okay, so Internet Explorer is also closed. And let's see the output that extracted. Okay, this is the data that's extracted. Let's see with the values. Okay, so what are we seeing? We are seeing CSV, but for the initial values, I think it got the values properly, but for the later items, we are unable to get it properly. Now, let's close this again. Don't save. Why don't we just open it in? Okay, open this one in Notepad. Okay. So what are we seeing? I think we are seeing an issue with the headings, the columns. Okay, we saved the CSV with comma separated values, but we appended the values with semicolon separated. So that is the reason we are facing issue. Let's go ahead and correct that. Open, file, save as CSV or what, delimited. Okay, CSV comma delimited, and what else do we have? We don't have anything else. Okay, let's see with CSV. And more options. Let's see if there are multiple options for us. CSV MS DOS, Unicode text. Okay, we can do it like this. Let's go ahead and remove all the columns or remove all the, okay, let's see with the example which they have provided. So this is the example that is given by the website. Let's add them. So what do we have? Due AID and a due date, which is of a specific format, invoice number, invoice date we are getting. We have the value and the total due. So what I'm seeing here is I don't want spaces, and also I don't want the values like star or anything. So while exporting the data, I think if we can just go ahead and check for the digits, if we can check directly for the digits, I think that should give us proper result. Now what we can exactly do is, let's go with this item and let's see Regex 101. So what exactly do we have as a data? Delete. Now here we have a data. Now in this data, okay, this is the value that we have. And if we are going to get this, are we able to extract digits from this? That's what we are going to check. So /d should give us some result. Full match. Okay, so we have this dot /d. So we should have this with this. Okay, and what do we have? Matches. Okay, I think if we can give this, then it should be the correct option, because we also need dot. If we have dot, then it may or may not come. So what exactly can we keep? Match for one dot. Okay, we have D and D. And how many times can we keep D? So a D can be of multiple times, and after star, a D can be of multiple times. So all we are checking is, we are checking with, okay, let's assume that we don't have number or dot. Will this match? Okay, we want 0 or 1. Okay, how can we keep a 0 or 1 value? Or 1 regex. So, okay, quantifiers with regular expression matches with 0 or more times, which is star and a question mark. So here we have star and a question mark. What exactly we can do? We can give a star question mark. Is this what we are getting? No. Okay, all we are getting is this. Let's test this one. Okay, star and question mark. Match 1, 0, match 2, match 3. Okay, we have multiple items with matches. Okay, what do we need? We need to have plus match 1 or more items, or 0 or 1 item. 0 or 1 time. Maybe we can check with star. Instead of star, let's check with question mark. And instead of this, we can check plus. And instead of this, we can check plus. Okay, after digit, after dot, we may or may not get the value, so it can be 0 or more. Exactly n times, and star matches 0 or more times. So I think that should work for us. Matches 2 items. So what exactly it is? Now let's, okay. So are we getting a value for this one? Yes, we are able to get it. What it is saying, matches many number of possible, giving back the greedy values. Okay, matches a character, literally case. Let's give ahead here a dot, and let's see if we are matching. Yes, we are able to match an item. So what exactly can we do is, we can take this one, and in the values that we are getting, so what do we need to match here in the total due? So total due amount should be a digit or an integer, and that can be extracted in the process. Let's go ahead and see with the process and the exception. I think if we can keep it in the final state itself, we'll have all the values in finally. Even there, it should work, but let's add it in the sequence here. Sequence, and let's add a regex is match or matches. So matches will give us the value properly. So what are we checking for? We are checking for specific item. Let's go with advanced. In this advanced, let's add the value here. Copy this, and let's, is my bot running? No, then why shouldn't the value is this? Okay, and what are we matching for? I think if we can match for $125.36, so it will obviously match the digits, and exactly we are matching for one item. Okay, let's save it. Control K. We have total. Extract total in digits. Now, when we have extract total in digits, what exactly do we get? A private value, enumerable of match. So what directly we can do is we can go ahead and say that str or assign. We can add an assign and we can match str total due as with the value that is matched, that is extract total in digits of 0 dot toString. So what is the error? Match cannot be converted to generic value. Okay, so if it is unable to convert into a generic value, all we can do is we can first add it to a string g. Okay, what do we have here? Okay, here also we are unable to get it, so let's go ahead and add this here. Exception in here. So what exactly are we trying to do here? Here we are getting g total due, so we may dot toString. Okay, str total digits. In the system.collection, a regular expression match, how can we get one item of 0 dot toString? I think this is all we can get. System regular expression match dot toType. Let's search this again. Convert match to string. VB. Okay, how do I convert UiPath? Tarvata. Let's see here in the matches assignment we have. So matches will return first match. Okay, we'll return first group of the match. Any groups will return the first group of the match. Okay. How UiPath uses match. Okay, if we have groups, then we will have groups. Or if we don't have groups, then we can directly get the value. Okay, so we can directly use, we'll return the first group, first match. If you want to get you, then you should use matches of one, group one. Okay, and in the group dot value, I think we can use this one. Let's go ahead and type in dot. What do we have? Matches 0 dot groups of 0 dot value. Okay, I think that's all we require for now. Let's see and check this out. str company multiple assign. Here we are assigning it, so that should also work for us. So here what we can do, here we can add a sequence, and in this sequence let's add total due. So this is what we are checking for now. And what is the error that we have from here? Input was not supplied. Let's give the input as str total due. I think that's what we require from here. And this we are doing in this particular place. Why don't we just go ahead and keep it outside the if condition? I think that also should work for us. Okay. So let's go ahead and add the value here. And let's see, str company, if anything is empty, then we are passing it to a value so that we can pass to a form, and again we are assigning it to some value bank, and here we are checking str string. Then again I think we need to go ahead and do the same value assignment. So here let's go ahead and add str, because str is what we are using. Str total due is equal to gstr total due dot to string. Okay, and let's delete this. So here we have total due, which will be properly available for us. Then what else do we have? Company name we are getting properly. Are we getting properly? Yes, we are getting company name properly. The third one is with the date format. Okay, what can we do here? We can actually split this so that we can check with the format data text to columns delimited. I can delimit with split finish. Yes, I can replace it. That's fine. So this is the data that we are extracting from the website. And this is the value. And I think even from invoice number, we can remove the hash. So if we want to remove the hash, what exactly we can do is, let's add a sequence. So we're just formatting it so that things will come properly. Invoice number, format invoice number. Now in this format invoice number, we need to just assign the value. And in this assign the value, we are writing invoice number and str invoice number. Okay, dot replace. We can replace hash if it has hash, comma. Okay, this is what we need to do. I think if we can directly replace some value, that should be fine for us. And what else do we have? We have invoice date, which is in a specific format, that DD, MM, and YY. But what exactly are we getting in this particular format? So if you see the values that we extracted, these are the values. Okay, this is 1/06/2019 and June 16. So this is again in a different format. So first we need to remove the dot, because if you see every value or every text has a dot, but hyphens we can keep them as is because they are properly written, and also we don't have any issues. But all we need to do is, when we have what do we have? I think these are for specific items. Citamet. Yeah, when we have Citamet, then we need to change the format. of the value. So, okay, I need not do it for every item. So what exactly can I do? I can check with this time code. And in this, let's add if condition. If condition is added and if str company name equal to, okay, or else what I can do is sit amid. I think if I can directly write it as dot contents. If this content directly sit, then I think we need to change the date format, and we can write assign here. What do we have? First we need to remove the dot, then we need to format the date, then we need to convert the date. Okay, let's do it. Assign, what do we need to convert to? Okay, control K, or we can directly use str invoice date equal to. So here in the invoice date, what invoice date do we have? I think this is not invoice date. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is invoice date. So let's go ahead and add str invoice date dot replace. What do we need to replace? We need to replace dot if it has any, and comma empty value. And in this, let's convert this to a dot format, string format. Okay, I cannot convert it, so let's try date dot try parts exact. We can have it like this, date try parts. And in this, what do we have? This is the string that we have. Format provider as tiles. I think we can use this one, try parse exact. Let's see what do we have now. String, string as format as string. Okay. Format as string. Okay, what format do we have? We have it in month space dd space yyyy. So this is the format that we have. Let's see what else do we require. Try parse accept the number of arguments, and what else do we need to provide? Okay. Convert text to date. Let's see VB. I think if we can give VB, that should be correct. Value, convert a string to into text dates. Let's see. Okay, this is not VBA. Let's see with VB string to date time. Okay, convert to date time with exact format. I think that's the format that we require. Datetime.parse idate. Datetime.parse exact. I think if we can, I think this is what we have given earlier, but if we can just give nothing, I think that should work for us. There is no formatting required. Nothing. What try parse accepts here? So this is the value dot to string, and after passing the value, what exactly do we require? String as I format. Okay. Either we can do like this or we can convert. This should be the best option to do. What do we have? System, globalization, invariant culture. System, globalization, culture, info, invariant culture. Let's see. So what exactly accepts the number of arguments? Nothing. Let's see. Style, nothing. As Boolean. Try parse should give us some value like date or else convert dot datetime. How does that work? Datetime dot parse exact. Date time dot parse. Okay. String formatter as I think this should work. There is nothing else that we need to give. What exactly? Okay. Or we can we keep it as nothing or null? No, we cannot. Parse exact. We can give this directly. Parse exact. And if we can give this invariant culture, this should work. Fine for now. But again, this is a particular format. So how can we convert this again into a required format that we want? So this is a date time. Now here we can add a dot toString again at the end. Dot toString. And in this toString, what exactly are we looking for? We are looking for dd hyphen mm hyphen y. This is the format that we require. Hopefully this should work. Cannot assign core generic value. Okay. System.string cannot be assigned to core generic value. Okay, so is this a generic value now? Okay. Now, how can we do that? Expand all. Okay, I think I can add it to some different value and then I can convert it. G str G invoice date, and later we can add that value back. Str invoice date to str invoice date. Yeah, date is sorted out, and what else do we need to sort? For now, nothing. ID is coming properly and date is coming properly. The values are coming properly. Hash is removed. Sit amit is coming properly, and we are getting all the values. I think that's it. That should be our values, and let's close this. ID. If we can just add these values even. So when we remove, where are we getting the commas? Where are we getting the comma? Sit amit. Yeah, I think if we can, we already removed those commas in the, okay. Yeah, since we have already removed those commas in the total amount, we can directly add them in the values. So total due date should be fine, and I think we can directly write it into a CSV format with comma separated values. That should work. Semicolon, I think if we can directly add it, comma. And what do we have still? What do we have still? Nothing. So let's go ahead and add these items. Copy. Add the items here, save. So these are the previous values. Let's go ahead and run the flow and let's see with the new values. Okay, don't save. I just want to go ahead and go to main, run the file. Let's see. We extracted all the inputs. It need to go and fetch into each and every value. Let's hope that this happens fast. We are close to 46 minutes. Fine. Let's complete it. Okay. Fine. I think for this particular item, it's unable to get any value. So it completely thrown an error, but let's add it and let's close this. So 18752 and the value is July 1, comma 2019 and company name is sit at RP dot. Total due date is due value is $1, comma. I think we'll have an issue with the comma, but let's see. I didn't configure that 204.80. Why don't we just go ahead and try this right away? Regex. Okay. We have a comma, but I think I have already removed commas before checking the values. So let's continue and do it. Here we have submit. Let's submit it so that we can go with the next item. Okay, even this is throwing an error. Why all of a sudden things are not working? 13759. Invoice date is June 19, 2019. Okay, the problem, we will have a problem with this comma, but let's add it. Let's see what we will have. Company name. Okay, let's change this to dot. Okay, company name will be Citamet Corp. Okay, and total due date, total due is $879.60. Submit. Okay, now it's working. Okay, so here we have an error. Only invoice date is not coming properly, so we can directly give 448. So whatever comes, let's go ahead and continue. Let's see, the output should come in the preferred format that we are expecting for. Again, we have a problem with citamet. Not sure why we are having a problem with this. Let's add 16892. Invoice date is, where are we having an issue? Okay, June 1, comma dot 2019, and company name should be Sit Amet Corp. Total due date is $21, comma 442.80. Submit. Onion is working properly. I don't see any issues. When I say that, I need to check with the output. So this is the output that we have. Let's see. Okay, we got all the values. So till here it was, these are the previous values. But if you see here, I think I did not remove dollar for sit amet. So I think I need to remove dollar as well. And what do we have? So we are getting IDs properly. The dates, okay, the dates, we do still have an issue. This worked properly. It didn't have any issue. We have with July 19, this June 19, which is this, and if you see the previous values, so these are the values. What we can do is we can actually go ahead and sort it so that we can get the exact ID. Control Shift L, and let's check with the invoice sort by smallest to largest. Okay, or else we can sort by ID. Sort by A to Z. Okay, we have a new ID for everything. Okay, what else do we need to do? Let's go and press Control Z and let's take it to previous format. So what is it doing in citamet? I think we need to convert it, but there was an exception. So whatever I type in is coming here when there is an exception. Understood. Let's see with process state. So here I'm changing the values, but those values are not coming up here. So if we can take this complete item in here and let's see with the values. Okay, they need to be out of the scope. Let's try to keep them at do level or process level should work. So no items are available with this particular format. Now let's see with the date. We have everything properly done, and while writing, let's keep a breakpoint and see remove highlight elements, remove execution trail can be available. And okay, let's run this once more. So what do we have? Debug. I think we do have a system exception which throw an error. Let's see for the next item as well. Okay, let's stop and let's see with the errors. I think we have 9 errors. Focus, append to CSV. Okay. So what is the row that we have? Transaction item data. This is the value that we have. It's 16696. Okay. Set Amit and Corp 2. Yeah, this is what I said. When we have this balance due, why is it not taking the value? Okay, let's stop it and see. Okay. So here we are having total, and in this configuration, str total due, extracted digits. So whatever the value that we have extracted, I think if we can remove the total due date, in the total due date, str total due dot replace. What do we need to replace? I need to replace comma, and in this comma it can be a double quote. If I can do this, and what exceptions do I have? String is not recognized as valid datetime format. Okay. Now when we have such exception, let's not cancel it and let's handle this. So continue on exception we can ignore. So we can get all the exceptions and we can handle them. And let's debug. Okay. Do we have an error? And is that focus? Okay. Total due, transaction item. What do we have? ID, date format, Indian, right? So while doing that, let's see with this particular 4. Let's see with this. Let's continue. We have the date from here properly done, but if you see here, this is not a correct date format and it did not start it as well. Okay, for now I'm going to stop it here. Now let's see in my next webinar, maybe in next 20 minutes, I'll start one more webinar.